Or should I start with We Are Live on the Information Superhighway?
Oh, I think We Are Live on the Information Superhighway, yeah.
We are live on the Information Superhighway. Glorious time zones to all. We're back in the podcast seats. Tezz, how you doing, mate?
I'm doing well, Law. How's it going, man? I mean, it's been a long time, right?
It's been a long time since me and you have sat in the podcast seat, Tezz, and we're ready to jump back into this podcasting world, I feel, mate, and I'm quite excited to get into Nothing But a Good Podcast. Welcome everybody to Nothing But a Good Podcast, which I think we should say as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. This is Nothing But a Good Podcast. This is all music. We've done the world of professional graps. We've done the world of horror, but a subject which is close to both our hearts, especially yours, Law. It's your bread and butter. Is the world of music.
Yes, we're here for Nothing But a Good Podcast. And I think the thing is, what we should get into is, what is Nothing But a Good Podcast? Like Tezz has said, it's going to be a music podcast. And, you know, I've played in bands for like 20 years. So, you know, I'm an elder statesman of rock now. And so many stories from the road and so many experiences. And music is a big part of everybody's lives. I mean, it forms, it forms your life, basically, what you get into, what you enjoy, clothes you wear, the way you wear your hair. And, we thought I just wanted to combine Nothing But a Good Time, music, our show we do, our music show, and a podcast into one and funnel it down this road of content, music, all sorts of good stuff, and make it into a companion piece to the theatre show we do, and also a way to explore and tell stories about the journey through music that I've had, guests we're going to have on the show. Tezz has got a journey through music, forms Tezz's life. I mean, everything Tezz has done with tattoos and all that good stuff. You know, music is such a big part of our lives, so it's good to combine them on Nothing But a Good Podcast. This is our first episode, Tezz.
This is our very first episode, dude. We've got a ton of things to be talking about, and as you mentioned, it's a companion piece to Nothing But a Good Time. And really, what I wanted to know is, how did that all come about? Because I was fortunate enough to see only your second show, yes. And me and my fiance were just blown away by the production, how professional everything is. But where did it all really start?
Well, Nothing But a Good Time is a rock show that I've created with my good buddy Jason and Meryl and Johnny D and Jono and Teresa and Jody. And it's a rock show made by people who absolutely love rock. And I've got a long journey through music, which we will get into further through Nothing But a Good Podcast. And but the brief story of this is, in 2021, I was asked to sing for a Bon Jovi tribute. This is just out of lockdown. I was going to be a depth singer for Bon Jovi. And singing and pretending to be someone else and singing covers was never anything I wanted to do. Never anything I wanted to do ever. And but I thought, you know, Voodoo Vegas haven't got any gigs coming out of lockdown. Let's go and do this gig. I think I was told it's going to be like 5,000 people in Manchester or something like that. So I went up and did that. And I got more and more gigs offered, Did Bon Jovi for about 18 months, I'd say. And then I stopped. And it was towards the back end of 2022. And then one of my good friends, Andrea, he was singing on this show for another company, for a theatre company, and this is a world I didn't even knew existed. It was a rock show for a theatre company, and I won't bother saying their name because I don't really want to. But it was another theatre show, and he said, "Come up and watch because I'll need a debt," because Andrea was having a baby, and Meryl and me went to Southampton to watch this show, and goodness me, Tezz, it was a covers band playing in a theatre. And I was like, what is this? And people were paying like 30 odd quid for a ticket, I'd say. I was like, I didn't even know that word existed. I was like, unbelievable, Tezz. Like that, there's all these people here on a Thursday night watching what was essentially a pub covers band gig. It's like set list. I was shocked with some costume changes and some nice lights. So I was shocked. And then it went that back into 22 went by. And it got to 2023, and I was asked to come and do and sing on this show. And I went and done one gig. And then from that one gig I did in January, I ended up doing every gig for 2 full years for this company on this show, touring around the UK, and it was quite the experience. Some ups, many lows, some highs. It was basically a job in singing, which I'd never really had. But I was in this world playing with all these people who are professional musicians, and but I was seeing what they were doing it like. They were playing the music I love, but they were doing it as a day job, for want of a better term. Fantastic musicians, but more like going in, getting it done, and going home. There wasn't the external stuff like Voodoo Vegas would do, where we'd like film videos, grow Voodoo Vegas, and put the care and love and attention into the project to make it grow, like water the flower and it will flourish as such. So I did this show for 2 years, but I remember probably 2 or 3 months into it, I was sitting in the van and I was like, I could do this. And this show I was almost named after a song. And I could do this. And I thought I could just call it Nothing But a Good Time. So 2 years, about 3 months into it, I claimed all the social media pages and everything. And then I went into, did it for 2 years. And then it was coming to about 18 months into it, summer 2024. And I was getting quite tired of it. The politics involved and all that stuff, which we'll get into further into the podcast. I'll tell some stories about that. And I just thought to myself, let's get on with it. Let's go with Nothing But a Good Time. I got together basically the Voodoo Vegas band and Jason and Jono, who I hadn't spoken to for 2 years. No, I hadn't spoken to Jono, our old Voodoo Vegas drummer, for about 10 years. So we made up and we ended up getting the projects on the go and filmed the promo for Nothing But a Good Time. And then we're here now. Sorry, it's a bit of a long way round, but I thought tell the brief story. We'll get into many stories about the show I was on, because it was this wild world that I never knew existed. It was weird.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like you say, that traditionally in the musician world, I mean, I've not been in the musician world for a little while, as in like heavy metal back in the day.
Yeah.
But you think covers band and you think pub on a Friday night, you know, playing some of the songs you like and whatnot. But this idea of musicians, semi-professional musicians being in a theatre, big production, all the lights, screens and stuff, that it's just a world that you don't really know exists, but is really actually quite vibrant.
Massive.
Yeah. As I say, going to just the second show of Nothing But a Good Time, everything is on such a higher level than you may anticipate when thinking, I'm going to go and watch performances of the songs that I love.
Thank you, mate. Well, the thing I'd like to separate from the other one I did, and what I noticed in a lot of these shows, is that a lot of that was put together by people who work in offices. From what I found from this world, is put together from a studio, from a theatre producer person who's maybe was on stage years ago, I don't know, and they pick a set list from Spotify and popular rock songs. They won't pick, and they'll just play along to sort of karaoke backing track versions. So just get it done. And I guess the difference is with Nothing But a Good Time is that, we love this music, and, not to be a nerd about it, but if you like Bon Jovi, for instance, you're picking as your set list the Wembley 95 versions of the songs you're playing. And you're playing those versions the best you can, because that's the best Bon Jovi live performance. Guns N' Roses, like Tokyo 92 from Use Your Illusion, you're playing those versions, of those songs. Aerosmith, like Little South of Sanity, Walk This Way. You're playing these versions of the songs that are the best versions, because us rock fans, we love these bands, and they don't deserve to be played with like just getting it done. They deserve to be played properly with the energy and the passion and the love for these music that the fans love, and people in the band, musicians love, because it's epic music. So that's what we're trying to do with Nothing But a Good Time, is to play that sort of with the passion and love.
This is it. It's like as you say, it's a set list that's been curated with care by musicians who care about music. And I remember just seeing my fiance's face beam up when we had such a variety of songs. What was the one that she loved? Black Velvet.
Oh yeah.
Because we wouldn't be expecting that, and that came across incredibly. As you say, Walk This Way. You got Bon Jovi classics. You've just got a real mixture. I mean, Ugly Kid Joe, Hate Everything About You. It's just, it really takes you back to that time when music had some attitude and variety and wasn't cookie cutter. So when it comes to picking the set list, how do you guys kind of come about that? Is it a case of you've got a general idea, or is it like a group effort? Like, how did you come to get those songs together?
Well, I think it's a fine line, Tezz. I think when we had the initial seed of the idea, of course, I was on that previous show, and you're sort of looking at the set list that did, and that was quite successful, I guess, or people enjoyed that set list. But are you being true to yourself? Are you going to get into a situation, 6 months in, and be like, oh, I've got to play this song? In a way, I don't like doing this. I did on that previous show. I had to always do I Want to Know What Love Is. I mean, it's a fine song, but it's not something I like. Essentially. And I know you've got it's that balance of finding what you enjoy and what also might be quite good for the audience to play. So I don't know. We sort of went through, picked versions. I always thought Boring Blitz would be good, but you're picking the version of Boring Blitz from Wayne's World too. Which Tia Carrera done. So do you know what I mean? It's like rocking versions of songs.
We actually went when we got back. We were driving in the car back from that gig, and I was saying, "Oh, I loved hearing that song. It makes me want to watch Wayne's World." And Victoria was just like, "Oh, I've never actually seen that." I was like, "Right,
unbelievable.
We are watching that when we get home."
That should be a sub Ministry of Horror review. Tezz also does the Ministry of Horror.
Yes.
Where it's not really a horror film, but it'd be quite cool.
No. I guess you could probably try and find some horror element in there somewhere.
Stacey, she's from horror.
She is. Actually, yeah, she's from Twin Peaks. Yeah, definitely. It works.
But I mean, the thing I guess with it as well is like one thing we can get into with Nothing But a Good Time, of course, as well. We're playing songs we love. And like say the previous show, using I Want to Know What Love Is as an example, I'm quite a high singer. This is the difference in the world, which I thought was wild. It's like I'm a real high vocal range, and I was always having to sing the low part of the song. Gotta take a little time. I couldn't ever go up high because someone in office decided that's what that vocalist did, and it's just not getting the best out of the song, man. And all these songs deserve to get the best out of them, not just getting done because someone decides what it is. And that's what I feel. I mean, fair play to all these shows. That's what they do, but we ain't gonna do that. We'll find the best what we can do, and I'm not throwing shade on any of these shows. It's just it's just the difference. We love this music, and I guess a lot of the other ones are like, hey, I've got a music job here, and I've learned this off a chart. That's not what Guns N' Roses is.
No, and I guess that also brings us to the stage production. So we talked a little bit about the set list, but again, it wasn't a case of coming out on the stage with just a couple of spotlights, here's a band playing the songs. You've got this neon lighting around all the amps. You've got screens in the background that are, playing videos that are in relation to the songs that you guys are playing. Also promotion for like merchandise and stuff. Like that just shows like a real passion for putting on a great performance. I mean, how did you kind of come up with all of that artwork and the whole design for the show?
Well, again, going back to the previous show I was doing, I was looking at that thinking this is just sort of get it done. And people are paying a lot of money to come watch this. And I remember there was never any amps on stage and you're playing rock music. And I was like, man, when people walk into this place, they've paid like 30 plus quid for a ticket and there's nothing here, nothing on stage. So I was like, we must get some amps, like cabinets, guitar cabinets, and I just thought it'd be quite cool to run lights. Where I got the lights from, so if anyone hasn't seen, we've got these 4x12 guitar cabinets with like rope lights running around them. I got those lights from Temu, Tezz. Temu. I saw an advert pop up, and it's literally rope. And I just got some coffee mug holders drilled into the inside of the amp, drilled through, ran it all around. I mean, it's a very homebrew theatre show, Nothing But a Good Time. I mean, it really is like quite a homebrew show. We've got all these fake amps and I'm running all these rope lights around them, but it looks great for the staging of the show and stuff like the logo and all the video production. I did all the video walls. We got all video walls screen sending on projections. I did all of them via AI. I used AI and I looped it through DaVinci video editing software. It was quite mad that I did. Some of it's very basic, just the logo. Some of it's like the logo's melting with fire, but going around it. And yeah, all with AI, mostly all with AI tests. Some of it's just basic loops with just smoke and stuff, because it took me hours. I think each video took me nearly 1 hour, minimum 1 hour. And there's 24 videos. So and I did that in the last 3 weeks running up to the first gig on April 19th. So it's very much a project out of passion. So definitely is. That was quite the job.
But I guess as a musician and whatnot, that's got to be quite fulfilling to see that, you know, the work going into it is paying dividends. Like, fan reaction has been really, really strong in these early days of Nothing But a Good Time. But as you say, it's you can tell that there's the passion on the stage, and it's not just a case of turning up, earning a paycheck and then leaving. It's actually, you know, we met all of the band afterwards in the foyer, you know, happy to chat to everyone. Just, it was a real kind of musician's experience, as opposed to just, well, they've played, they're going to bugger off now, and we better leave the theatre. So you mentioned you've had a few shows now under your belt. Do you want to talk about some upcoming shows and where people can see you in the next few shows?
Well, it's quite wild, really, Tezz. We've got a few festivals coming up, which is good. But I mean, we've got a big one at Harrogate Theatre, July 12th, which is our first gig in North England. And the wild thing about this whole process is, well, which I'm sort of thinks quite mad, is like, we only met up to meet the video editor for doing our promo video July 26th, because it's Meryl's birthday. So we met him for lunch to talk about doing the video. So we're now June 22nd, and we've already played 4 shows. And we're playing like a major theatre on July 12th in Harrogate. So less than a year from doing the meeting, not even filming anything or recording anything, we're playing all these shows. It's definitely different than doing Voodoo Vegas, and you're an original band where you'd fire out a million emails and have to put up with the rock industry, you know. And we'll get into stories about that on Nothing But a Good podcast. It's definitely different. We got quite a lot of gigs from our promo video when we were sending it out. I mean, I think we'll end up with 24 gigs. We've probably got about 25 booked for 2026 already. So it's quite a wild experience, and of course, I want to play festivals. Nothing But a Good Time as well. I love going outside, playing al fresco gigs. Tezz, they're awesome. Yeah. So we've got a lot of festivals coming up, and playing rock venues too. So we're playing theatres and rock venues like River Room, Stourbridge on August 13th. So I'm going to Ireland as well. So if anyone in Ireland checking that, come watch us at Mandela Hall or Soundhouse in Dublin last weekend of August. It's gonna be rocking, man. We've got loads of cool shows, and if you like the rocking and rolling and you want to have a good time, come see Nothing But a Good Time. But even if you're not a mega rock fan, you know all these songs: Living on a Prayer, Sweet Child of Mine. We're playing like Summer 69. We didn't want to play Summer 69, Tezz. We were like, we're not going to do that. That's quite a bit overplayed, Summer 69. But we saw a video of Bryan Adams playing it at the Royal Albert Hall last year. Man, like the energy he put into that version. I suppose we were tainted from the previous show I was on, where we were literally playing along to a karaoke track, playing on top of a karaoke track. And we found a version of Bryan Adams playing it at the Royal Albert Hall last autumn, and we were like, wow, like look at the energy Bryan Adams is putting into this still after all these years. And it inspired us to be like, oh, like, let's play that version, because it's awesome. Get the crowd singing along with the whoa. It was awesome, man. So, you know, like I was saying, you don't have to be a mega rock fan to come and enjoy Nothing But a Good Time show. You'll know all the songs, but they'll be played with heart and passion and love that this music deserves.
Well, yeah, exactly that. And that's, a great point, because sometimes where people may not be fully in the rock world, and they might sort of think, oh, loud guitars, not my sort of thing, shouty maybe or whatnot. That's not it at all. And as you say, there's quite a lot of variety in the set list. You know, you've got your rocking classics, then you've also got like Time After Time and Poison. It's a real, not a variety show, but it kind of is. You know, there's a variety in the set list. There is something for everyone, and everyone's going to know pretty much all the songs. They're the songs that you kind of hear on the radio and think, oh, excellent, I know this.
Yeah. And we've not been taught to play them out of a book or by someone in the office. We've been taught to play them from the experience of going out and doing ourselves, touring around Europe, recording records. You know, it's the it's the energy that those songs deserve, because we've gone and done it. We've played these gigs, met play with some of these people, you know, play with big rock famous people, and again, Nothing But a Good podcast. We have lots of stories from our time, like famous rock stars getting annoyed because we eat their bananas and stuff like that. It's a banana, mate. Calm down. You know,
I'm interested to hear about that.
stuff like that. But that would be in episodes to come. So, but yeah, it's. I'm looking forward to combining everything. You know, as you know, Tezz, we spent many years doing podcasting together. It's a passion of mine. I'm a very creative person, and I feel like the world is out there, isn't it? To go and let's do some creative stuff, make some podcasts, meet some people, do some rock shows, have a great time. We're not here for a long time, Tezz, but we're here for a good time.
For a good time.
Let's have a good time. It's gonna be fun, man. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your music journey, and also your just journey into doing all the filming you did and the horror stuff as well. Because I think we can talk about all sorts of stuff as people get to know us on this podcast. And
yeah, definitely. We can touch on some of that, definitely.
Yeah.
Right, dude. So yeah, as you mentioned, we've got plenty of stuff to be talking about on future episodes. We're going to have guests. We're going to be talking about, you know, tales from the road, inspirations. We've even talked about doing some album face-offs from some of our favorites. And as you mentioned, there's going to be particular performances. You're not just going, well, we'll cover this song, but we're going to do the album versions. It's going to be particular live performances. And I think as we kind of go through the show, we can always talk about why a particular performance from a band stood out and just stands out above everything else, like a band when they're at the height of their power, and really just sort of dig into why those things stand out so much to us. But
I mean, from you,
for everyone listening,
quickie, like, what's your favorite band, Metallica?
It's between Metallica and Pearl Jam, two quite different bands in the rock world, but yeah.
So for you as a fan of those bands, is there particular live performances or live DVDs or live albums that you're like, that's the one, that's the best one?
Yeah. So for me, it was as a teenager getting into Metallica, and I listened to a live set that they had, but there was two sets on it. It's called Live Shit, Binge and Purge.
Yeah.
And it was a combination of their 1989 tour, I think it might have been, or 88 tour for And Justice for All, and a 1992 tour in Mexico City, I think, for the Black Album.
Yeah.
And the one that always gets re-released is that Mexico City one, because the Black Album is their biggest album.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the And Justice for All portion, the 1980, I think it was 88 potentially, that just really stood out, because it just felt like they were on a different level. They were at that stage where we're then going to break through, like we can't be ignored anymore by the mainstream world. And everything was just, the performance was super tight. Everything was just on point. Set list was incredible. And it's one of those things where I don't think enough these days, and enough people watch particular live performances, because everything's so readily available on YouTube. At that point, it was a case of me watching it as a Metallica fan and then becoming a super fan, because everything just clicked.
Yeah, I get that.
What about yourself? Is there a particular performance that you just think, well, that is the band on a different level?
I'm a massive Aerosmith fan. I love them so much, and I love Bon Jovi as well. I guess in the Bon Jovi realm, for most Bon Jovi fans, it'd be the Wembley 1995 performance. They released it as a DVD, kids, and VHS, I think, actually, as well. And that was awesome. That was them at their best. I'd say, 1995, just after Well Then These Days came out, and I think John's voice is on top form when he's singing Always, and I mean it's Wembley Stadium as well, legendary place, and it was wicked. I mean, Aerosmith, I've loved them for years, and there's of course they got the Little South of Sandy. Although the thing is with Aerosmith, they've got a few releases that are like live things, but I feel compared to a lot of bands, Aerosmith are very slack on releasing content or archive stuff. It's actually not very good. Like, I love what Metallica do, where you can sign up and get all the bootleg stuff and listen to any album essentially. And Pearl Jam did it once. I remember there's like the bootleg. Yes. You went on tour and you saw them, you could get that gig. I mean, why doesn't every band do that? Because you've gone to this gig and you could buy it. I mean, people would spend money, to go and get this stuff.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing. I love that era with Pearl Jam. I think it must have been maybe 2002, 2003, maybe. And yeah, I would buy various. They did it for a few different tours, but I think that was the initial run, and it was just incredible because
it's like a little cardboard fold-out thing, wasn't it? It wasn't a proper CD case. It was just literally.
And every show was different. It wasn't a case of this is the set list for the tour. You'd buy one CD for a particular show, then they did another show a week later or a couple of days later, and then there'd be these other deep cuts on there. Or it was just great because as a fan, a UK fan for an American band that doesn't come to the UK all that often, it was just a great way to experience all of the songs you love across a variety of performances. And as you say, with some bands, they can just play the song as is, but with traditional rock bands, they'll just do something a bit different, whether it's playing it a bit faster, whether it's an extended solo, a jam section. It's
I mean, that's like that Bon Jovi Wembley 95 when they Lay Your Hands on Me. There's a huge Richie Sambora double neck guitar solo. It's just amazing, brilliant stuff for you, and you remember it, doesn't it? It gets you in the heart, isn't it? It's just it's the vibe, isn't it? And then going back to Nothing But a Good Time show, if you're a fan of those bands and you play that version, you'd be like, yeah, they did that. They did that version. That's awesome. What they did there, that's the version they did, wouldn't you? You'd know.
Exactly.
Which gets
exactly,
man. And we this music deserves that. I feel, But
Oh,
also for the
100%.
layman who hasn't seen these DVDs and these live versions, they can just love it because what the bands did back then was awesome. So I'm interested to see. Actually, we're coming up to June 26th, which is a weird date because it's the first gig I ever went to, which was Aerosmith at Wembley Stadium. The Toxic Twin Towers Ball with 3 Colours Red. And that guy ended up putting on the Camden Rock Fest, who was in Free. Did you ever hear of 3 Colours Red?
No, I don't
think
think I
called
have.
Beautiful Day. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, that does sound familiar.
I think it got to like number 1 or number 2. So 3 Colours Red. 3 Colours Red, Stereophonics, Black Crows, Lenny Kravitz and Aerosmith at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, wow.
26 quid a ticket it was, Tezz. I'll find the ticket because we're also podcasters. We're on video. You can get us on YouTube. Nothing But a Good Podcast on YouTube if you're listening on audio. And 26 quid a ticket. And I was like 4 days away from the anniversary. It's a date that sticks with me. I can always remember dates of stuff. So we will see. Aerosmith have just started releasing their archives up on the internet. Have they got any footage of that gig? I keep commenting. Not that they see. It's not really Aerosmith. But whoever's running their social media, I comment all the time. Post some footage of Wembley Stadium. Surely every band who played at the old Wembley should be posting content of them playing at the old Wembley.
It's historic, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't believe Aerosmith never did it. But man, there's loads to get into.
Man.
We can get into the best live versions of songs, like why live versions and live albums are awesome. Loads of stuff on Nothing But a Good Podcast. It's going to be awesome, Tezz. I'm really excited to do a music podcast because runs through my veins, runs through your veins, runs through everybody's veins. If you haven't listened to music, or there's this one lady I know, she doesn't like music. She got this noise, just hears noise. That's funny.
Oh, okay.
My camera's going funny. It's probably because I'm all animated.
Oh, yeah, zooming in and out. Couldn't keep up with you, dude.
Yeah.
So where can people find Nothing But a Good Time on the internet and socials?
You can find it on the information superhighway, nothingbutagoodtime.co.uk. Also, the rockanthemsshow.com, rockanthemsshow.co.uk. All fires into the same website. Some may proclaim to be a rock anthem show, but that's that's it. They make a proclaim to be a rock anthem show. We were called that way before. You can get us all on these information superhighway and man, just Nothing But a Good Time Rock on Instagram, Nothing But a Good Time Rock on YouTube, Nothing But a Good Time Rock on Facebook. Come and connect with us. Come and see us at a live show. Come say hello, grab some stickers. We get some stickers out and we have loads of videos of our live shows coming up. And we're going to be doing this podcast quite regular as well, coming up on the information. You can get this all on Apple, Spotify, all the podcast platforms you like, YouTube. We post it up on the TikToks, everywhere, man. Nothing But a Good Time, Nothing But a Good Podcast, Nothing But a Good... whatever it may be, it's going to be good.
Exactly.
Nothing but a good.
Nothing but a good. Awesome. Well, it's always a pleasure catching up, dude. And guys and gals and whatever on the internet, we will be catching up with you soon. Be sure to follow the socials and keep rocking out.
See you guys on the flip top. Thank you for checking out the first episode of Nothing But a Good Podcast. Goodbye, Tezz.
Goodbye, Law.
Oh, wait, hang on, Tezz, if you can hear this.
No.
Well, you have to check out the podcast version for a special Tezz treat then. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Oh.